All right, so what's up everyone? So today I'm taking a look at the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra versus the iPhone 13 Pro in a camera showdown to see what these phones can do when it comes to photos and videos. Now the first comparison is with taking portrait mode selfies, so using the front facing camera to get some really nice blurry backgrounds and keeping you in focus. And I have to say that these two pictures look totally different from each other. And on the left with the S22 Ultra, you see that I really do like the way it represented my skin tones here. And I think it's a really great looking image that is really pleasing to my eye the second that I look at it. And with the iPhone 13 Pros, it's a good image, but it looks a little more gloomy. Things are a little bit more darker and more on the cool or blue side of things. But again, separately, if I was looking at both of these photos, I would like both of them, but I just think that the S22 Ultra just made an image that just kind of sticks out to me a little bit more. Oh, and before we move on, I want to take a closer look at the edge detection. So basically how both of these phones are able to cut me out from the background and basically make an outline around the subject that you want to have in focus in these portrait mode photos. You can see here that the S22 Ultra did a great job at cutting me out, where on the 13 Pro, it does have a little bit of problem when it comes to trying to cut you out from things in the background that are a similar color to the actual subjects. All right, so sticking with portrait mode selfies here, I find that the iPhone 13 Pro did a better job, in my opinion, in this particular situation. Both of these look really good, but the S22 Ultra does feel like it is a little bit brighter. And then also I feel like the edge detection is also better here and a little bit more kind of natural looking versus on the iPhone 13 Pros, it kind of looks a little bit jagged in areas. But one thing I really do like is that when you look above my head in the picture of the iPhone 13 Pro is that you can see a lot more detail in that little upper part of the roof of the building that I'm in. And so I do like that. But when you do go behind my face or my big head or whatever you want to call it, you can see that on the Galaxy S22 Ultra, I think with the dynamic range, it did a better job at still being able to have that nice blurry background, but I'm still able to make out those pillars in the background and things look a little bit better. Where on the iPhone 13 Pros, you can see that the sunlight definitely blew out things on the right side of the photo here. So overall, I would be perfectly happy with both of these, but I still lean a little bit more towards the S22 Ultra here. All right, so now let's flip over to the rear-facing cameras and take some portrait mode pictures. And I was kind of shocked here at the performance of the iPhone 13 Pro. It's really dark in this particular area, and my little T'Challa right here, it's very hard to make out details. It's just way too dark. Where on the Galaxy S22 Ultra, it did a really good job at brightening up this particular subject. But when it comes to edge detection, this time the iPhone 13 Pro did win out. But just overall with the photo, the S22 Ultra was able to brighten up my subject and gave me a picture I would like to post to social media right away. Where with the iPhone 13 Pro, I think you can definitely lift up those shadows on the subject, but again, that's going to require a little bit of work and a little bit of editing. Now for these photos though, I'm going all the way with the iPhone 13 Pro here. I really love the tone of the color here, so it's a little bit more on the warm side. And then also with the edge detection, it did a better job than the S22 Ultra. And this scenario where you do have that white sign also kind of getting blended in with the white snow. But for this one, the iPhone 13 Pro nailed it. And really this goes to show you that I know in the beginning of this video, a lot of people probably feel like I'm just trying to bash the iPhone or something. But what this photo shows is just basically that in certain situations, these phones will perform better than the other. And it just really kind of depends on the lighting, the scenario, the subject, all those different things. So I'm just going off of photo by photo, which one I personally like. So always take that in consideration when it comes to these type of comparison videos. All right, so these next couple of photos are just dealing with the main wide angle camera, nothing extra added to it, just taking the phone out of your pocket, pressing that shutter button. And you can see that these photos are totally different when it comes to the color temperature, where on the iPhone 13 Pro, it's more on that warm type of orangey side, where on the S22 Ultra, it's more on the cool type of blue side. And with the S22 Ultra, basically the phone was trying to balance out the colors and make a really good image, which it did. But the time of day when I was taking this photo, the sun was setting and it was a very nice, cool orange glow from the sun going down. And the iPhone 13 Pro did a great job at still capturing that moment. So it feels a little bit more orangey, but I actually like that because that's more of what I was seeing at the time when I took the photo. And I especially like that I was taking this photo inside of a train station, so it was kind of dark in there. But with the iPhone 13 Pro, you can see it with the bricks is that it did brighten it up, and I'm able to see more detail with that, where on the S22 Ultra, it feels a little bit muddy. And so I just feel like overall the 13 Pro's image just kind of sticks out to me and it's more pleasing to my eyes. And now with these photos taken with the main wide angle cameras, I feel that these were very close. Now you can see a difference in the color temperature here, but it's not as drastic as it was with the previous photos. And I also really like the natural depth of field effect from both of these phones in the background. You have a decent amount of blur there without having to activate the portrait mode. But when you do zoom in a little bit, you can see a little bit more sharpness and detail with the iPhone 13 Pro's image with the letters in Star Wars. So this is a tough choice for me, but if I had to choose one, I'm going with the iPhone 13 Pro. Oh, okay, so now this comparison might be the most shocking for this entire video for me, and that's because both of these pictures are taken with the main wide-angle cameras, but I didn't activate night mode at all. And what you can see here is with the S22 Ultra, you have this type of ghosting effect or this glowing effect around this sign. And I know some of you might be thinking that maybe the lens was dirty on the S22 Ultra, and I was thinking the same thing, so I took one of my microfiber cloths and I cleaned it off, but the result was still the same. So yeah, I didn't see this all the time, but for this scenario with these bright lights, the 13 Pro just nailed it, and especially with that nice deep black sky in the back there at night here, the 13 Pro ran away with this one. All right, so speaking of the dark night, shout out to Christopher Nolan, let's take a look at some night mode photos here. So these first photos are with night mode completely off, and then now, boom, I'm turning on night mode, and now you can see both did brighten up these images. And with the iPhone 13 Pro, I love the detail I'm able to see now in the bricks, but it kind of looks like I have like a really big flashlight, or I brought like a studio light with me to brighten it up. And so yeah, the lighting just doesn't look as natural as it does with the S22 Ultra. So the S22 Ultra doesn't look like I'm trying to brighten up the image, if all that makes sense. So you don't get as much detail, but I just kind of like the way it looks as being a little bit more organic. All right, so now let's talk about how night mode performs in portrait mode. So these first two photos are portrait mode with no night mode on, and then now I'm switching over to turning night mode on. And you can see here that both of these look really good. But as I punch in here, you can see the difference in color in my jacket, where on the S22 Ultra, the saturation is turned up a little bit more. So the color of my jacket is more accurate looking in the iPhone 13 Pro picture. But you see that little green glob there on my collar in the iPhone 13 Pro? This happens a lot with iPhones when light hits the glass on the iPhone's cameras the wrong way. And so you can remove it in post if you do want to do some editing, but it's one of those annoying things that does happen more on the iPhone versus on the Galaxy S22 Ultra. Okay, so just off of the spec sheet, we already know that the 100 times space zoom on the Galaxy S22 Ultra allows you to get a lot closer when it comes to taking photos, but you can see that the iPhone 13 Pro maxes out at 15 times zoom, but even when compared to the 30 times zoom on the Galaxy S22 Ultra, it honestly looks like that iPhone photo was taken with an iPhone that came out in like 2012 or something. I mean, it looks so bad compared to the 30 times zoom on the Galaxy S22 Ultra. And then when I go to maybe the 100 times zoom here, you can really see that that quality starts to decrease on the Galaxy S22 Ultra, but I honestly feel that the 30 times zoom is that really good sweet spot where you maintain a lot of great quality while also being able to get up close. So yeah, this is no competition when it comes to zooming. Definitely the S22 Ultra is the better camera system. Oh, and another big reason why these zooming capabilities are really good on the S22 Ultra is from here you can see that the S22 Ultra is able to be a lot more stable. Like the stabilization in this camera system is really good compared to the iPhone 13 Pros, and that means a lot when you're zooming in and your hand is shaking a little bit. The S22 Ultra is going to be able to maintain it to be a lot more steadier, and that hopefully will result in a more sharper image. Okay, so now let's take a break from talking about photos and talk about the video recording capabilities. And first, I'm gonna start off with the blurry background video modes that you have. So on the Galaxy S22 Ultra, this is called portrait video mode, and on the iPhone 13 Pro, this is called cinematic mode. And you can see here it's trying to mimic that type of DSLR effect where you have that nice blurry background with you in focus. And you see a difference in the color temperature here where the iPhone 13 Pro is more warmer, and I kind of prefer that in this particular example. And also the image looks clearer and more sharper on the iPhone 13 Pro, where on the S22 Ultra it does look a little bit muddier, but I will say that the edge detection is better on the S22 Ultra, and that can always kind of make and break these type of examples. But I will say that the edge detection for the S22 Ultra is better in this particular test. So neither one of these are gonna make me start using these modes a lot more, but I just wanted to kind of show you how they look. All right, so now just taking a look at some regular old 4K video running at 60 frames per second on both of these phones. I think this will be a very popular video recording mode for people. Now we still have that annoying green glob effect here from both phones, but it's definitely more annoying on the iPhone 13 Pro here. Now walking up to this big red structure right here, I really love how the red looks on the iPhone 13 Pro here. It just really pops off of the screen here, where on the S22 Ultra, again, it just really tried to balance that color, which it looks good. In post, you can go ahead and turn up that saturation and make that look a lot better. But just straight out of the camera, the iPhone 13 Pro did an excellent job here. And I feel like the image overall has a little bit less noise compared to the Galaxy S22 Ultra. Ultra here. So in the video mode, it kind of continues this whole thing for the past few years with me, where the iPhone 13 Pro is really excellent when it comes to video, and the Galaxy S22 Ultra is not a slouch at all. I just feel like the iPhone 13 Pro just has that slight little advantage when it comes to the video department, especially with HDR video and different scenarios that you can put it in. But now again, as I keep bringing up here, though, it does have that issue when you are using the video recording capabilities and you're going across lights. As you can see, these little green globs there just keep popping up, and they just really take away from the video as well. This doesn't happen that often, but it is one of those things to consider, especially if you do plan on recording a lot at night with these phones. And then there are some unique things that these phones can do that the other one can't do. So on the iPhone 13 Pro, you can record in ProRes, which is a video format that takes a lot of space on your phone, but it allows you to get great looking video that I use all the time for my videos that I do on YouTube. But then also too, the Galaxy S22 Ultra can record at 8K at 24 frames per second. Now, a lot of people aren't going to be using this, but I still love that it does have this capability, and it's kind of fun to play around with here and there. And then when it comes to software, I mean, there's a significant amount of differences here, but I like to point out a couple of things like this object eraser tool that you have with the S22 Ultra, where you can remove things from your photo. It works a lot better when you are removing small things, but it's kind of cool to mess around with that. And then on the iPhone 13 Pro, you have this thing called photographic styles. So this is cool because you can actually choose a photographic style to always bake into all of your photos that you take with the iPhone. So once you select it and you exit out of that, every time you take your phone out until you change it, it will have that particular type of look. And so the fun thing about this is that, say you like the way the photos look coming out of the S22 Ultra, you could change a photographic style to kind of mimic that. And now you have the best of both worlds when it comes to video recording capabilities of the iPhone and photos that look like they're coming from the S22 Ultra on your iPhone. But look, now I'm gonna sum up everything here with this. These camera comparisons aren't meant for me to say you're wrong if you like the iPhone or you're wrong if you like the S22 Ultra. As you can see, I like each in different scenarios. And so I don't want everyone bickering down in the comments, but I do want to hear what you guys think as far as which one that, if you just had to choose one, that you would go with as far as your smartphone camera system. Now, if you had to put me on the block here and I had to choose one for me, I would kind of lean towards the Galaxy S22 Ultra. And let me not say that. I would choose the Galaxy S22 Ultra because it has a more complete camera system, especially with the zooming capabilities. But if I am just choosing one for a particular scenario, I'm going with the iPhone for video creation because I am a creator, and sometimes I like just to use my phone to capture content that I feel proud enough to be able to put in my actual YouTube video. And I'm not saying that the S22 Ultra can't do that, but that ProRes video of the iPhone definitely makes that an easy choice for me. So as a creator, I'm going to be using both of these phones throughout the year because I think they're great in their own rights. But if I only could choose one, I would go with the S22 Ultra right now. But again, what do you think? Leave your comment down below. Please like this video if you did like it, and also be sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't subscribed already, and hit that notification bell. But like always, I do want to thank you for watching this video, and I will catch you later. Peace.